Hello, everyone, and welcome to the How to Write Captivating Instagram Captions live class. Please let me know that you are joining us live and where you're joining us from. I'm here in North Idaho with Janet, and we are going to be talking to you about all of the tips and tricks you need to know to make amazing Instagram captions that are going to stop people from scrolling past your post and actually engage with your post. The more time somebody engages with your post, the more often it's going to be seen. So that can have a huge effect for all homeschool businesses and blogs.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad that you're here joining us.
If you are watching the replay, go ahead and comment that you are watching the replay. Just do a little comment that says #replay, and then I will know to keep an eye out for any questions or comments that you might have throughout the video, and I will be sure to answer them after this video is live. I see that we have a couple people joining us live right now, so please go ahead and put a comment letting us know where you're joining us from. I love to see people that are from all around the world that are joining us. It is really exciting to see that we really have an international community with the Homeschool Quest, that there are so many people that are homeschooling all around the world, and all the homeschool businesses here in Homeschool Business Builders are working to support the homeschooling community. Hello, Larissa from rural Kansas. Thank you for joining us. So, did you know that having a really good caption is just as important as having a good photo on Instagram? It can be the difference between getting a sale and getting scrolled past. You have two options. Your customer is going to scroll through their feed, they see your amazing picture, but they keep scrolling because the caption didn't capture their attention, or they see your amazing picture and after reading your engaging caption, they like, comment, and maybe even tag their friends. So if you want to have that result for yourself, this is the video that is going to help you to be able to put together amazing Instagram captions.
So, the reason why I really care about a good Instagram caption is I have a tendency to spend a huge amount of time on my pictures. And then, if they're not actually doing anything, I feel like I wasted my time. If they didn't go to my website or purchase a product or learn about me. And so, in my opinion, it's that image that gets the attention. It's like we say, it's a fish hook with bait. And so it gets that attention, but it's the caption that actually gets people to do something.
And this is really important when you are posting images, that you make sure that you are using commercial use images from free photo websites like Unsplash or Pixabay. If you're not going to take it yourself, do not use images that you find on Google image search. Those images are oftentimes copyrighted, and that can have consequences because the photographer can, in fact, sue if you use their copyrighted image without permission. So you want to make sure that if you aren't taking your own photo, that you find a commercial use photo, you use something through Canva Pro, buy a stock image, or just simply take a photo so that you can make sure that you are using a properly licensed photo.
Hey, Amelia, can you add a link to Unsplash in the comments? Because that's a really good site to find stock images. And I found that using stock images works really nice compared to taking something off of Google because you can get the full size image so it's nice and clear in your picture and you can crop it the way that you want to. Where if you're taking something from Google Images, it may be a teeny tiny image that you have to zoom out or zoom in, and then it gets all blurry. So there is definitely benefits to doing a paid or a free stock image. Oh, and by the way, stock image basically means when it's a purchased image or something that somebody else took. So if you see happy people around a computer and you know that that's not the people that are actually selling the product, that's a stock image.
So the most important part of your caption is the very first line. This is where you're going to get someone's attention and get them to click on the read more. You have to remember that post is an interruption while they're scrolling down their feed. You need to make it worth their time. So having that captivating post is like saying, excuse me, I have something that you need. Can I have a moment of your time? You need to start your caption with an attention-grabbing first line.
I've also found that first line gives people a reason to click the read more, where you can give them all the rest of the information, because they may see cute pictures of smiling kids, but they don't see that it's necessarily going to send them somewhere else or give them more information. So that first line gives them a teaser of what they're going to see in the rest of the caption.
So once you grab their attention with the first line, you need to add more details to keep them interested. So you want to add value and information. So here are a few ideas that we have found works really well. We have over 21 years of experience in marketing, so this is based on what works in the real world. You should tell a story about you or one of your products. And by tell a story, I'm actually talking about telling a story, not just making a post, not putting it in your stories. I mean to tell them the story of how you came up with the product. Talk to them about how you got into homeschooling. Tell them about why you decided to start selling printables or worksheets. Tell a story so that you can have them connect with your products and the services that you are providing. You can give a tip on how to use one of your products. This can be talking about where to get it printed, whether that's like, hey, if you want to use these different printables, you can go ahead and print them at your local library. And give them a tip on how to be able to expand on the unit study that you are providing, or be able to practice Spanish in the real world. Give them tips on how to use one of your products so that you are giving them additional value for free. You can inspire them by sharing something encouraging. I know there's a lot of homeschool moms that can always use some encouragement to remember you're not alone and your kids are going to turn out great. You can also tell a joke that your customers can relate to. Being a part of a big family, there is plenty of material for me to work with, those funny things that happen every day. So just share a little bit of the behind the scenes of what goes on in your household to really make that connection with people and show them that you are just like them. You can also explain your hopes and dreams for the future. This is a big one that I don't see a lot of people do. And it really makes a difference if you can get people to see where you see your business being in 3 to 5 years, what they are supporting, and what kind of things that they're going to be able to be a part of. You're going to get people that are going to want to support you and your dreams and your hopes for the business. So if you are wanting to sell more printables, because it is going to help fund your daughter's ballerina classes. If you're wanting to help more kids who have ADHD be able to have good note-taking skills, whatever your product is, whatever your goal is, your mission, sharing that with people not only makes a connection with them, but it also helps them to see where their money is going, because are going to want to support you because of your mission. And you want to share your process and some of the behind the scenes. So this doesn't have to be any proprietary information. This can just show a little bit of a day in the life. You can show a picture of your workstation. You can show a picture of you going on a field trip with your kids. You can show a filled out worksheet or a screenshot of one of your classes. If you do like live video classes, you can get everyone's permission to share a screenshot of everyone having a lot of fun. Sharing some behind the scenes gives them a little bit of a taste of what it's like to use your product or service. And finally, you can actually feature one of your products. A lot of people will not be sure what they want to do on that because they're like, I don't want to be too salesy, but it is important to tell people the benefits of purchasing your product or service. Because if you are focusing on those benefits, you are actually helping them to find a solution to a problem that they may have.
So, Amelia, here's a question that I think that a lot of people have is, if I'm trying to sell more printables or sell my curriculum, should I just be sharing my products in every single post because that's going to get me to my goal? Why should people share stories and tips and jokes and the behind the scenes? How is that going to benefit their bottom line?
That's a really good point, and I'm really glad that you brought it up. So basically, there's a couple of reasons why you want to share this additional content. There's two major reasons. The first reason is that not everyone who is on your page is ready to buy what you are selling right away. And they, on average, they need to see your business and your products at least 7 times. The second reason is that not everyone is at that stage where they're ready to purchase from you directly. So there's a couple of steps that they actually have to go through before they decide to purchase from you. And any of your followers could be in any one of these stages at any time. So they need to realize that they have a problem that they need to have solved. Whether that is having a bored kid or someone who needs to practice a certain skill more, or you're providing a certain class like public speaking, and they're like, my kid needs public speaking classes. They may realize they already have a problem. They need to know and be looking for a solution. They need to know that you provide a product that solves that problem. And they need to try to find the best business to provide that product. And then they need to be able to justify purchasing it so that they can be able to get the solution that they're looking for. So they go through a lot of different stages of consideration. You need to be able to build personal connection with them so that even if they don't even realize that they need your product or service right now, that they will be thinking of you as a potential option when they do have a problem that they need to have solved. So let's say that you have a printable shop where you have a bunch of different types of printables. It's not anything super specific. It's just phonics printables and creative writing and drawing and all kinds of different topics for different grades. So you're not super specific. What you provide is printables that are really fun. So trying to sell each individual product and just focusing on the products, there is not going to be as many people that are going to be interested in following your page because it's only the people that are looking for products to solve their problem, which is a bored kid or a specific type of printable, whether that's drawing or creative writing. They're only going to be one of the 4 stages. By sharing the other content, you are engaging your audience in a way that allows them to actually enjoy the content that you're sharing, and you're able to nurture them into being in a place where they want to purchase your printables. So, yes, definitely share posts where you are featuring the benefits of your different printables, and this can be the details of what they're going to learn. Most of the time with homeschool, it's focusing on the details of what they're going to learn and how they're going to learn it. And share additional content to help nurture those leads because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So if you haven't already built trust, if you haven't already showed your personality and given them a personal connection, then they're going to go with someone who has put in the work, who has built up a personal connection with that homeschool mom through either sharing blog posts on their blogs or writing newsletters or sharing Instagram posts with behind the scenes stories and fun content. So it's really important that you don't just feature your products, but that you go and do some of these other types of posts.
And I've really noticed that, like the joke posts and the inspiration posts, they get a better reach as well because people are commenting and liking them. And so you can be exposed to a lot more people. And so that when you do your product post, it's going to be seen by more people because you invested in doing all these other types of posts.
So once you have written your post, you've written the first line and you've written a really good caption. Now you want to tell them what you want them. Now you want to tell them what to do. This is something that I see a lot of people miss out on, and I would say on average it gets you 60 to 80% less engagement and conversion on these posts. So you're going to be getting a lot less actions from your post if you don't include a call to action. This is super important. I tell everyone, if you have a ton of posts without calls to action, it is actually worthwhile to go and edit your captions, at least for the last 25 posts that you've done, to include a call to action. You might even see an uptick in website traffic or sales when you add a call to action to your past posts. So this is, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. This is what we call the call to action formula. Call to action can oftentimes be abbreviated as CTA. So that's how you remember it. You want to capture their attention with the benefit, tell them what to do and how to do it, and add urgency or a deadline. So a good example of this is you want to say something like, you can promote an upcoming event. Like, don't miss out on our Spanish, free Spanish learning class. Click the link in my bio or click this link to RSVP. This class will no longer be available after such and such date. Or you have to register today. This class will be ending at a certain time. You can add a coupon or a sale. So that is, get 50% off my creative writing prompts by using coupon code Homeschool Quest, and this code ends on such and such date. Now, a lot of people will tell me, but I don't have a specific deadline for signing up for my newsletter. A really interesting thing is you can simply add the word today or now, and that still adds that same sense of urgency. So sign up for my newsletter today to get this free printable.
And so
Still adds that urgency.
the adding that benefit is a real key because you can say a call to action is technically buy now would be a call to action. But if you say buy now to get 50% off, now they have a reason. Buy now to learn the math facts in 2 weeks. They have a benefit from that and they are going to be motivated to act on it. So the benefit, telling them what to do, and then give that urgency actually gets people to do things when they read your caption.
I will be providing you with the slides to this presentation afterwards. So if you have anything that you wanted to review later, you will be able to get access to the slides. So the next step is to add a few hashtags. On Instagram, hashtags are particularly powerful. So hashtags allow you to be seen in the different hashtag groups. So you can actually follow a hashtag on Instagram just like you would follow an account. So if you use hashtags like hashtag homeschool, hashtag mathfacts, hashtag Spanish learning, you're going to be seen by anyone who is online at the time that is following that hashtag, depending on how popular the hashtag is. The more posts and the more often people post using that hashtag, the less people are there. You have a chance to be seen by a lot of people for a short period of time. If it's a little bit less popular, say 10,000 posts, or the last post was last week, you have a chance to be seen by fewer people, but over a longer period of time. So both are beneficial, and you want to use a mix of super popular hashtags and medium to like less popular hashtags. So if it has like 1,000 posts and the last time it was posted in a month, maybe not a good hashtag to include, but you can include that as well. I would recommend that you look for hashtags that have at least 10,000 posts in them if you really want to get that boost. You can also use hashtags on Facebook and Twitter. So I recommend that you use about 5 hashtags on Instagram. They do have a maximum of 30, but if you want to include any additional hashtags, I would recommend putting them in the first comment, because that way you're not putting too many hashtags in that caption, and they can see the call to action a lot more clearly. On Facebook and Twitter, I would include closer to like 3 to 5 hashtags. And again, adding them in that first comment for Facebook can be beneficial. The next tip is to tag local landmarks, people, or businesses in your posts. When you mention someone, they'll get a notification in their activity feed letting them know. It will also create a link to their account. So mentioning micro influencers in a comment is a great way to invite people into the conversation, and it can help them market to your fans and vice versa. So if you see a post in another homeschool group where someone is asking, hey, how do I sell more of my printables? Or do you guys have any tips for creative writing courses for ages 8 to 12? You can mention me, and I would be happy to comment on that post. You can even tell me, hey, I'm really knowledgeable about these different topics, and I will try to mention you in different posts in the Homeschool Quest. So this can be a really awesome tip for being able to engage with other micro influencers. Now, if you're not familiar with the term influencer, that tends to be someone with a large social media following. A micro influencer is someone who is an influencer in a specific community, but maybe isn't an influencer to the whole world. So still really powerful for your specific community, but you don't have to worry about if you have like 1,000, 5,000 followers on Instagram, you could be considered a micro influencer. If people are clicking on your links and going to your website consistently, that can be considered being a micro influencer.
I honestly think that you have 500 followers and you can be a micro influencer, especially when you're using this app mention and becoming that person that shares all of the really good resources. You're sharing the different curriculum for other people that are, your so-called competitors. You become that leader in your little micro community. Does that make sense, Amelia?
Yeah, I definitely agree. You can actually make yourself so. I have a blog where I review independently published fiction. I don't have like thousands and thousands of followers. I have about 1,000. I started out with about 500 before I started reviewing books on my blog. And as a result of connecting with different independent authors, reviewing and sharing this content, not only did I gain a lot of followers, but people consider me to be a micro influencer in the very specific community for a certain genre. So, like Janet said, you don't have to have a huge following. It's about how you engage with people and how you are connecting with people. So if you are focusing on sharing really good content and tagging other people in posts, you are going to be seen as an expert who knows the right people that have the right information that people are going to have that is valuable to people.
Exactly. I think that this is a really neat way to show your expertise, help other people, and help other businesses.
So this is the fun part. You want to add emojis to make your posts stand out. I see a lot of people who put a lot of time into their posts and then they miss this one thing that actually makes a really big difference in people actually stopping to read the post and how much they enjoyed the post. So I've worked with a lot of different businesses and I've run different tests to see how people respond to different kinds of posts. And consistently, people think that the posts that have a couple of emojis, like 3 to 5 little emoticons in the post, feel like those posts are more fun and more personable. And it makes a better personal connection with people. So if it's a serious post, maybe don't include some emojis, but in general, you want to include about 3 to 5 emojis in a post. It makes the post more visually interesting, and it also makes it so that it stands out from all the other captions that aren't using them. So if you go to emojipedia.com, you can actually search all of the different emojis that are available for you to include in your posts, and there's a ton of them that aren't even included in the Instagram and Facebook automatic little emoji box.
So how I like to use emojis, I will sometimes do an emoji at the very beginning of my caption so that it grabs people's attention while they're scrolling. I will sometimes use it as bullet points. So especially if I'm doing like features or benefits of a product, I will use a different emoji for each bullet point. Or if I have a long post, I like to do an emoji right before my call to action so that they don't miss that important call to action at the end.
Those are some really great tips. I appreciate you sharing that. So now that you have written your caption and you have added hashtags, you've mentioned maybe a couple people or a business that you're featuring, and you have added some emojis, now it is time to start proofing your post. The first step is to actually read your post out loud, not in your head, out loud. This actually helps you to be able to see any flaws that might be in the post and make sure that it flows well and it's easy to understand. So you can also read this to your post to your partner and get their feedback on it. A technique that I like to use is actually to have someone else who doesn't know anything about the post read the post out loud to me. And it actually gives me a chance to see where they might be confused or where I might need to clarify and make sure that the post is clear and easy to understand. You do want to avoid using any like jargon or slang that your customers might not be familiar with, and because you really want to make your post conversational and approachable, and avoid doing a hard pitch. Focus on the benefits that the customer will get from purchasing the product if you're going to do a product post. You also want to grammar check your posts. So you can read through your posts yourself. We found that it is helpful to have a tool to help you with that. So both language tools and Pro Writing Aid are great tools for checking grammar and adding an extra layer of polish to your posts. Because if you've been working on your post for 15, 20 minutes, you may not see the issues with it because your brain is going to autocorrect and add that extra missing word or um, the double word that you have in there. You might not even see it. So if you have a tool that can kind of have a unbiased view of your post, you're going to be able to catch any of those little errors that might otherwise slip through.
And a little homeschooling mom pro tip, using a grammar checking software is a great way to teach your kids grammar. So when they're writing their essays or short stories or anything, have them grammar check it before they give you their finished work, and then they will learn the errors that they made. It's helped my kids a ton.
It's basically like, when it comes to the homeschool side of things, it's basically like having a grammar teacher that gives them a grading and highlights all of the errors and then gives them an explanation for, hey, this is what you did wrong, here's how you correct it. So it's like having a grammar tutor available to you. So super helpful. So I want you to share a link to your Instagram account in the Homeschool Business Builders group so that we can all follow you and be able to mention each other in each other's posts. So if you see someone who does Spanish learning classes and you do French learning classes, that could be a really awesome partnership where you guys could tag each other in different posts where people are wanting to learn foreign language. If you are a printable creator and you focus on math, maybe you can find someone who focuses more on art printables, and you guys can be able to tag each other in different posts in different Facebook groups and your Instagram posts. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you do have any questions about Instagram marketing, go ahead and leave a comment so that I can answer that question in one of our upcoming classes. And let me know if you have any other questions regarding to social media. If there's a specific topic that you would like me to cover, I would be happy to hear your guys' suggestions. Thank you for joining me today, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.